Attention, horror fans. Attention, Evil Dead fans. This is Tom Sullivan, creator of special effects in the Book of the Dead and Kandarian Dagger for the Evil Dead films. And I'm a listener of the Timo and Harley Show. And I know you are too, and tell your friends. It's the best thing on.
Welcome to the Timo and Harley Show.
Thank you for listening to the Timo and Harley Show. I am Timo. Over there is my partner in mind crime, Mr. Ben Harley. Say hello, Harley.
What is happening, people?
Ben by Hasbro Harley.
That's me.
And again, our last week of... Hold on, let me get out my Hicks collar, because I get in trouble now whenever I don't do my hunting call. Thank God it ain't a mating call. That's all I got to say, because I'm in close proximity. But let me get my call out. Hold on.
Yeah.
Oh, that one died. It's my Danny Hicks caller. It is Hicks season. We have Mr. Danny Hicks. Hunting we shall go. So that we have our third wheel in Mindcrime, Mr. Danny Hicks from Evil Dead 2, Darkman, Intruder, Stalking Bigfoots, The Demolitionist. I'm going to go on and on and on.
Stop.
Wishmaster. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep going.
And not from Hollywood, California.
Yes, from Lake Elsinore, California, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, Danny Hicks.
And the crowd goes wild. Thanks, guys. One more time. I can do this. Tim, stop hitting me.
No.
Oh, man, it's awful, guys. You should see the bruises on me, man.
Yeah.
Now that I'm old and decrepit, he thinks he can beat me up.
You gotta do what you gotta do in this day and age here, guys. So, have we said hello to our deep thinkers? Deep thinkers,
not
hello,
yet.
Deep thinkers.
Not quite
106%
yet.
of you guys. So that's good. Our audience, you have to be right, Harley and Danny Hicks. You gotta be thinking deep to understand what the fuck we're talking about. So
it's not gonna help.
No, it's not. So now let's see here. We're gonna talk about some things that me and Danny watched, okay? Because Mr. Ben Harley, he's got a wing down. He's going to have a knee surgery. That's correct, Mr. Ben Harley. Holy shit!
Yeah,
so
when this comes out, I will have had. Yes.
Yeah, you have your surgery, and then that can't be good for productivity in the screen printing world, can it?
No. They still haven't developed a screen printing system where I can sit down and print. So that
no harness and pulley system for you to do that. Okay, well,
right.
We'll get there, Harley. So since you've had you got the bad knee, you got the trick knee going on. I know you've been busy trying to get everything done before that surgery. So Harley, there's no chance in hell that those things are adding up right before your surgery, right?
Right. No.
Of course.
Yeah. No.
Everyone's very, very delicate with you. They know that when you have something going on, leave Harley alone. Let him do his thing. That's not happening in your world at all. Is it?
No.
Okay.
It's funny. I'm getting these messages like, when's your knee surgery? Like, oh God.
Can you work while you're getting worked on?
Yeah. Can I stop in?
I've got a question.
Print, right?
You've got a trick knee. What kind of tricks does it do? Does it fetch?
Does it make shirts?
No, I wish.
Okay.
No, it likes to pop out of place and drive me to the ground. That's the trick.
Does it really hurt when that happens, Ben?
Yeah.
Oh,
the thing is, it's what's weird because people are like, well, is it locking on you? No, not really. It just happens to seem to pop off of my leg. It seems like inches. Yes. Yeah. I swear to God, it feels like inches coming. It's popping up that much and slamming back down. So when I try to walk normal, what
are they going to do to fix it?
I have a torn meniscus, so they're going to actually, I guess, cut that piece out. They're going to go in and cut it out. So cut that bad spot out.
Cut it out, man. Cut it out. I don't even like the description.
Yeah. Me either.
It's my fucking knee. Leave it alone.
Yeah. It's funny. The other day, I was sneaking and looking at my X-rays when I was sitting in the room by myself. But I don't doesn't bother me, except for there was one, and it was like the inside of my bones,
Yeah.
and that creeped me the hell out. It did. I was like, oh God, that was just weird looking.
Ben Harley, this is the real you.
Yeah, I was like,
we know you inside and out.
Yeah, like, man, I just didn't like that. It was that creeped me out a little, just a little. So, but
it's like when I'm at the dentist peering over at the X-rays of my former teeth, and I'm like, my God, I've become Mickey Mouse. Look at that. There ain't nothing there.
Ain't nothing.
I know the feeling.
I'm chewing on water and barely getting it down. So
yeah,
well, you're gonna have that going on, Mr. Ben Harley. But so we've watched a few things now. Now what we did is, I know you're busy trying to get the stuff done. So what we did is we watched a few things here. Me and Danny did that I know you can comment on. And to the point where I know we're going to say the titles of these films, and it's going to be the Ben Harley Show. I know these things, all right? So we're going to go through these, of course, one at a time, because that's the way it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so these were movies that we tested on Danny.
Yeah.
These weren't like we've watched The Thing from Another World, which he wanted to see. Even The Blob, he wanted to see. These were movies he wanted to go back. Now these were movies he had not seen, and he didn't ask for this at all. Like he wasn't. He didn't come here expecting these movies.
I have to interrupt you because here's what happens here. The other day, the whole O family. I mean, I'm talking about Angie O, Chance O, Shay O, Corey O, and Tim O. They all jumped on me, held me down, and Tim cut all my hair off. He took the buzzers and buzzed my head.
I did.
He did. He buzzed my head.
Yep.
My hair
his hair's buzzed just like mine, Mr. Ben Harley.
Oh boy. Yeah.
He went number 4. He's on the number 4.
Oh,
yeah.
That's close.
I
like
mean?
a number 3.
I look so mean.
He looks like a pissed off Gerald McRaney now, I've told him.
Yeah.
Everybody's looking up Gerald McRaney right now.
So that's why I watch these movies. Don't let him say that, I wanted to or anything.
He was afraid we'd hold him down and cut something else off.
Yeah.
So he just decided
right.
starts with the hair. So.
I need all the parts I got, damn it.
Yeah.
We did with old Buzz over here. So let me let's start with this. Okay, so I'm going to go kind of backwards in time a little bit. I'm going to go backwards, sort of. All right. So no, I'm not even going to do that. I'm going to jump around. Why? Because it doesn't matter. That's why. We're going to start from 2018. All right.
Yes, sir.
We inflicted Danny with The Meg.
Oh no!
Yeah, we did. We inflected him with The Meg, the half Chinese, half American, all big CG shark.
Yes,
The Meg.
And you know what's really strange is I liked it. I thought it was cool.
Yeah,
it was a good film.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it
has its moments. So many people out there were like, "Oh, it's the remake of Jaws." I remember someone coming and saying, "Oh, did you see the remake of Jaws?" I'm like, "What? No, they're not. No, they're not. Yeah, they are." I'm like, "No, they're not, man. Trust me, they're not." You know, and I don't know, Timo, and Danny. I like bits and pieces of it.
I told Danny you had a hard time with it.
I went in with low expectations, and
they were
some of them were met. Yes, some of them were met. But some of it was okay too. Like by the time it was over, I was like, you know what? It was just kind of more of a fun. I don't know. Silly.
I think the cinematography was awful. I think it was awful. It was obtrusive. Like there was scenes where, especially in the beginning, where Jason Statham was trying to save people. There were shots that were so obvious, like he's in a position where he looks like he's about ready to do something action-y, and the camera zooms out real fast. And that's all it is. It's just an insert of a zoom away from him, and they have those edited together to the point where it's like that didn't do anything to push anything along at all.
No.
And it's almost like the only thing missing was, oops, I turned the camera around and pointed at myself. That was the only thing. It was when they're there, it's bad.
Yeah.
It's bad. It feels cheap to me. And I don't know why. It's not a cheap movie. It just felt cheap, almost like amateurish. A work print, maybe? It felt like a little bit.
Maybe.
I don't
think that the computer generated stuff is getting worse and worse.
I do too.
And there was only a couple spots that the shark really looked kind of cool. I thought, but they did kind of do a swerve on us too. They did the old Jaws 3 swerve a little bit with. I don't know if I should give it away. I don't really care.
You can give whatever the hell you away, because there's some movies we don't want to give stuff away because we want people to see them. I think people have had plenty of time to see this hunk of junk. Yeah.
Well, there's another shark, that shows up, which actually, in a way, I'm glad it did. I was like, wow, because it amped it up a little bit more, but there's just some stuff in there. It's just, I don't care how tough you are or how little you think the shark's going to be bothered by you. I'm not swimming out in the middle of the ocean with a giant, like a Winnebago-sized shark at first. When he went out there, like, I don't care. That shark's still going to come. It's going to be curious to what you are.
A friend of mine went down to, I don't know, it's off the coast of Africa or South America or someplace like this. And you can go on these tours where you swim with the whale sharks. And those things are huge. I mean, they're as big as Meg was, but they don't have any teeth. And you can play with them. You can go down there and play with them and bounce off of them. And
hope they don't slurp you up and tear you apart.
But they don't have any teeth, so they're not going to cause a whole lot of damage unless they crush you. Mm-hmm. So
I kind of felt like this movie was, and I told Danny this before we watched it. I said it feels like a movie that was written in the 90s. And then sat somewhere, and then someone made it in 2018 without the 90s sensibilities. And almost a movie that was maybe made for, let's say, Schwarzenegger. and Jason Statham's in it. Now, I don't hate him. He's all right.
No, I don't.
He's a serviceable action star. I do like Rainn Wilson a little bit. I think he was funny in The Office. So, I mean, he plays the rich guy, the real rich guy. I do like the fact that they didn't make him into a mustache twirling villain. He was a little naive that his money could buy his life toward the end, but so there were little things I liked, but then it was too much the cutesy little girl, and there was too much of it. Effects movies aren't effects to me anymore. They're animated movies.
Yeah.
And like, to me, a Ray Harryhausen movie wasn't an effects movie. It was an animated movie. But it was a stop motion animation film. So it had its own little unique little niche. Do I think that the stop motion was more realistic than the computer? Of course not. But to me, the movement was just as convincing, because where the stop motion was jerky, the computer stuff is overly fluid. Yeah. It looks too smooth. And I've said before, it's funny how now that they can do whatever they want, if you saw a shark coming at you, let's say in Jaws 3, you had a rubber shark going, coming at you. And they had to edit. They had to show you different angles of that shark to kind of make it look ferocious coming at you. And you got upset. You're like, Now they don't cut. They just have the shark coming, and it's making facial movements and crazy shit, and the fins are flying.
The shark is twirling his mustache.
Yeah, it's overly emoting because they can. Yeah. So you're seeing these over exaggerations of movement, because it's almost like you don't know when to stop. You don't know when it becomes buffoonish and cartoonish, and I feel like that's what happens with the CG. It's not people like, you just don't like new techniques. No, I don't like shit that looks stupid. That's what it is. And a lot of the CG looks stupid. I always say, go back to Jurassic Park, that has a perfect mix of CG and practical effects and editing. And that to me is a perfect marriage of all of the different techniques. And I haven't really seen it since. Mm-hmm. And I think that we were basically watching a little bit of a more defined Finding Nemo, because it was about as convincing as that to me. And so that takes me out of it.
It's a big ass eye. That's a big ass shark.
It's big.
It's a big ass Nemo.
Right. Now, that being said, it is a fun little popcorn movie. But everybody...
that's about it.
Right. But everybody who saw it in my world said about the same thing. Like, they said, have you seen the Meg? No. And they all go,
Yeah.
I got a kick out of it. I enjoyed it. Because, I'm too old to worry about all the shit that you're talking about. I just watched the fucking movie, and if it can entertain me, good for it,
Yeah.
So I don't care about the CG unless it's so obvious. I mean, like there's a gap all the way around the Meg, and it's black, and you can see some nerd there with his little mousy things and stuff. I don't care. It's to me, it's just fun. It was a fun little movie.
Yeah, it's not making me hate the world like some movies do. But I think that we're explaining why it wasn't great to us. It just isn't great. It could be great.
Yeah.
It could be a lot of fun, but it's just fun.
Yeah. Once that thing reached where there was a population of people, it got a little bit more interesting. Things really
on the beach.
Happen. Oh man,
come on, Meg, eat the children. Eat the children.
Yeah, I was like, the guy in the bubble, eat him. Oh my god, that was but like
the bubble did get popped eventually. Though,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
okay,
yeah, because finally we got some. Like, this thing should be doing this. That's where it should be going.
Well, there you go. I think you just hit on it for me because this movie feels a lot more like Deep Star 6 or Leviathan than it does Jaws.
And my problem is, too, the whole thing concept of there was just some silt that we had to go through to penetrate through
after
to go down.
meters.
And there's this whole new, it's like, man, it didn't seem like they went down but about 35 feet, man. Like, I was like, me and my perspective, I was like, it doesn't seem like they went that much further past the cloud. I think the Meg would have got out long before that.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. In fact, Angie and I were sitting there, and I said, okay, wait a minute. It's whatever they said, how many meters? And I said, how many feet is that? And we were trying to, come on, guys. I mean, you could have said feet and inches, but.
Right.
Yeah.
The Chinese wouldn't have understood what you're talking about.
Right.
They use the metric system. So.
And nobody seems to get the bends in these movies. Yeah. They all go straight up, straight up from really far down deep, and shoot straight the hell up and come out going, oh boy, I almost drowned. It's like, okay. I mean, so there are little.
And I tell you that scared me in Jaws 2 when that guy came up so fast because he was so scared of the shark, and that's when that's the first time I ever heard about the bend.
Well, it was disconcerting.
It freaked me out. I was like, what that can happen to you? Like,
right.
that can be an intense thing to happen. And they don't ever, you're right. They never
kill you.
Oh yeah.
Actually.
Yes.
Air bubbles all in your lungs.
Air bubbles. You're done. You're done.
Good, so.
Nitrogen, baby.
Well, we had enjoyed watching that.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's good. I'm glad to hear Danny enjoyed it. Though.
I did.
Because that's fun, and I will say coming out of it, it was a little bit more fun than I thought, but I'm still like, I don't know.
We're still waiting for the good one.
All right.
Yeah, someday.
Yeah, we're still looking. But that
came out in 1975, so we're good.
We've been waiting for a while, but it's all right. So.
So
we moved on, Mr. Ben Harley, to another movie, another one that has a bit of an international flavor.
Okay. It's not Great White, is it?
No, it's not Great White. Not the Italian epic Great White, no.
Okay.
From 2015.
Danny, I wouldn't want to see Danny sit through that.
No, not even the Riff Tracks version. I don't think you can handle. No.
Yeah, no.
From 2015, we watched Howl.
Yeah, we spoke of that. You were gonna throw that down on Danny.
I did throw it down on Danny. So that is the movie, The Train, where they're on the train. And the train breaks down in between stops. And it's
out in the woods, right?
Yes,
the Sherwood Forest.
It sure is woody.
There's Robin Hood when you need him.
Yeah.
So there's and then there's werewolves afoot that are attacking the train of people that are stuck in there. So now we're getting a little bit closer into stuff that I enjoy. There, when you're talking about someone stuck in a place and there's monsters trying to get in and things, that's kind of fun for me. I enjoyed it. Now, the big thing about this movie is there's a bit of a discrepancy whether or not folks like the werewolves or not. I love the werewolves in it because they're more human-y looking, but not to the point where they look like they're going to be romantic.
No.
I hate that.
Right.
I thought there was vampires that were romantic.
I know, but it just permeates everything now. As a matter of fact, I only saw the first Twilight film, which, in fairness, I didn't hate. The first Twilight film, the first one I watched, I was like, I can see where this gets on people's nerves. But I watched the first one. It just, the 1 2 hour movie was fine. It didn't need to become the economy in a small country. One was fine. So anyway, but they did have like handsome werewolves in those movies too.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. I'm not kissing a werewolf.
Yeah. Okay, well,
shit how cute they are.
These werewolves remind me of the ones in the nightmares from American Werewolf in London.
Yeah.
That's what they remind me of.
Yes.
Not the werewolf, the ones that David Naughton was having the nightmares about. I like that. That's pretty cool. So these werewolves, it's a very simple story. Yeah. I mean, these people are on a train. They're probably coming home from work at night from London to somewhere else, wherever they live. And something throws a giant deer carcass onto the tracks and they get stuck and they get attacked.
Yeah.
Right?
And they don't, Bait. And I like it too because, like, these are people traveling not so much together. They're traveling, I mean, as partners, you know, I mean, they're just together.
People on a train.
They don't know each other. Yeah, they're strangers, you know, and and I like that because then that, for me, that's always sets people off. You don't know who to trust, kind of. Not really know who to trust, but like, who's going to snap first? This guy, I don't trust this guy. He's going to throw me out of the train. It's set up good. It's a good setup.
It is. And I like it. It's simple. It's a simple story. It's a simple movie that keeps you a little bit engrossed in it because
I wish the hell they would have made the whole key thing simple because I've never seen anybody fumble with keys more than there is in this movie. I mean, he's a conductor. He should know what key goes to where, you know, like this one goes here. I don't. If you got 50 on your ring, it doesn't matter. You should know which one goes where because that's his job.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, but he could never find it. He could never get the key in the thing. It's kind of like me. You know,
well, now this one, me and Harley, I saw it. I saw it first, and I actually sent it to Harley.
I saw it first.
I said we need to review this. You know, because me and Harley both like werewolf movies, and it's just like shark movies or anything else. Yes, there's very few that are any good, and it's like Bigfoot movies too. Of course, we're gonna love a horror movie about Bigfoot, but there's so few.
Why didn't you review this?
We did.
Oh,
so that's why I'm saying we reviewed it and actually kind of enjoyed it. What did you think of it, Danny? Because this is new.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was another good movie, and the werewolves were kind of cool. I'm still not kissing one, but they were kind of cool. The only thing I really had a problem with was the damn conductor not knowing where the keys went. You know, that bugged me, but other than that, it was a good movie. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
It's an old-fashioned monster movie.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And, you know, these people were trapped on the train. They couldn't go out, and they couldn't stay where they were, so it was kind of cool. I liked the way the werewolves took their victims and threw them up into the trees, you know, so they could hang them up there and go up a little bit later and nosh.
Right.
Yeah. You know? What's for dinner? I have a snack, honey. I'll get you dinner later.
Right.
Yeah.
And good howls or people howling out in the woods. And it's.
And the red eyes look cool. Like them just kind of you can see them in the background.
When they escape out into the woods and one pops up there and another one's over there and you see there's a whole family of them. You think, oh, man.
Like, oh, no. Yeah.
Now, going from a movie where I'm talking about that to the next film and the final film, Mr. Ben Harley, that I want to talk about. Because you're going to be surprised that I pulled this one out on Danny. And I think Danny was surprised because when we told him the title, I know he looked at us like, you just lost. It's over. You were doing great, but now we're not going to enjoy this. But I think he was at least slightly pleasantly surprised at the film The Man Who Killed Hitler and Then the Bigfoot.
Oh man, you really went out on a limb on that one, Tim.
I took a chance that Danny was going to give it a shot because of Sam Elliott.
Yes,
because I think that's what we all did.
Yeah,
you know, basically pleasantly surprised actually to do that. So yes, we watched The Man Who Killed Hitler and Then the Bigfoot. Now, me and Harley have talked about this film. I don't think we reviewed it, did we?
No,
I don't think we did, but we did talk about it.
We both right, yes,
right.
Because you watched it, and then I went back. And
you didn't want to watch it?
No, I didn't.
What the title why wouldn't anyone want to watch it?
Yeah.
And crappy title, man.
Well, and that was something that me and Harley debated a lot because he hated the title. And so I said, I agree with you. However, what would you call it?
I understand it. Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sam Elliott.
Would have been a huge hit then, actually. but seriously, it's almost like Snakes on a Plane. It's a dumb title, but then again, you know these were working titles where they just were like, fuck, I can't think of anything else now. I've seen it too many times. You know, what else am I going to do with it? But I think on some level, you know what you're getting into. And you look at the title going, and here's the funny thing. The trick of the title is this. I wonder how many people looked at the title and went, the fuck is that about?
And then watched it because of the title?
And that's exactly what it's about.
I think you're giving people too much credit.
No,
they would look at that and say, what the fuck is that? And throw it away. What the fuck is that?
But Sam Elliott, though, that's what I'm saying. I think Sam Elliott draws people into the film because people, enjoy it, and I'm one of them. Yeah. I enjoy watching Sam Elliott.
I do too.
He's one of the few mustachioed men that I really enjoy. And I do. What did you think, Danny? Because we talked about it.
I loved it. I thought it was great. The title really put me off. But if you really stop and think about it, I mean, first of all, Bigfoot doesn't exist. But if he did, there's nothing to say why Hitler wasn't killed that way. But if you're going to buy the premise that somebody killed Hitler and then went and killed Bigfoot, why not? I mean, there's nothing stopping it from happening once you buy the whole damn thing. Yeah, you're in. I enjoyed it, but the title was off-putting.
It's like the Gone with the Wind for conspiracy theorists, because it takes history, and even a guy like me sits there and goes, "Could have happened." Not in the Hitler part. When they said we had a double and stuff like that, they did have doubles for Hitler. We know this. This was a fact. This isn't a, so what they did is they took reality and just kind of switched it. But when you actually go back and dig into the whole Hitler thing, there's some very compelling, at least anecdotal evidence that something fishy was going on. And of course, fishy thing. It was World War II. It was all fishy. It's all it was. All fishy. It's all espionage and whose dick is bigger than whose and this and that. But and as far as, of course, people would argue with you about the Bigfoot, but what I liked about it was how things happened and the reactions to what was happening. Yeah, that to me was just brilliant, and it really comes to a head. Sam Elliott, okay, I mean, for people listening, just a general, Sam Elliott is a veteran of World War II who was, you would call him now like a black ops guy, like he was a special forces type of guy, and he went on this mission and he killed Hitler before history says he got killed
2 years before.
Yeah. Yes, and then some government agents come up and say, we have a sick Bigfoot that has the plague, basically.
It's going to kill everyone.
It's going to kill everyone. It's going to cause this whole thing. You got to stop it from coming down a mountain. It's coming down a mountain towards civilization, killing animals with its germs. Yeah. Not with its fists or hands, with its germs. And so you got to stop it. What I liked is the reactions of everyone. Because for Harley and I, and we've been talking about this, you get tagged with the Bigfoot guy shit, and you get tired of it. Boy. You're like, don't tell me what I believe. Right. Ask me. Don't ask me. Just because I'm enjoying this stuff, it's just like, do you like killing demons and throwing them down in like basements? No, but I like getting paid
personally,
to do it.
I do. I do enjoy it.
How about not getting paid to do it, though?
No, fuck it.
There you go.
Have somebody else.
Right. So, but
I draw a line somewhere.
I think my favorite part in the film, and I mean, there's two favorite parts. One is when the young guys try to steal his car. That's coming, but you love to see it. Right. It's realistic. Yeah. He's kind of drunk, and he still knows his fighting skills. He's like, damn these idiots! You can't take my car. I can't let you take my car. And when they put the cigarette out on his wife's picture, you're with them. Yeah. Yep. You're like, go ahead, take care of these assholes.
Kick some ass.
Right. But my favorite part,
and what's good about that is the way they lead you up to it. He's an old guy. Mm-hmm. You think he's going to get his ass kicked. So when he puts that cigarette out on his wife's picture, you're not sure what he's going to do.
Right.
But you're hoping he would do what he does, which is just beat the living fuck out of these.
And the movie grants you that to show you're doing that. And that,
but you weren't sure.
Right. Now that part reminds me of Bad Day at Black Rock with Spencer Tracy with the one arm, who just beats the shit out of like Lee Marvin and Ernest Borgnine with one fucking arm basically tied, well, not tied behind his back, it's gone. So that's fun to see that, because you're waiting for them to get their just rewards too. I think it's way more of a build up in that movie than this one. But my favorite part, and it's a very small little moment, and I mentioned when we were watching it, is when Sam Elliott is trying to figure out what to do. The government agents have come up and said, we have a Bigfoot, and he says, get the fuck out of here. I'm done. And it was nice. He's like, I'm done killing things. Yeah. Even though he had it coming. That's what he said about Hitler. He had it coming. I killed somebody once, but he had it coming. But I don't ever want to do it. I don't ever want to kill anything again. Ever. I doesn't want to do it. Cool. And it is cool. And then the government agents tell him, if you don't kill this thing, everything else is going to die. So he's in this dilemma. So he calls his brother, played by the great Larry Miller.
Yeah, he's good in it, dude.
Yeah, so he's a barber. And they sit there, and when Sam Elliott says, it's the Bigfoot, I need to kill it. And Larry Miller sits there and looks at him, and they just continue the conversation. And what I like about it is Sam Elliott goes, why did you believe me? And he said, an honest man is an honest man. Yeah. I've always known you to be an honest man. I don't have to worry about it. I guess it is what it is. And that sends chills up me because I'd like to get that from somebody. Yeah. When I'm telling someone what I have experienced from other people and why I believe what I believe, I would like someone to go, I see that. Yeah. I have not had your experiences. Therefore, I can't see things the way you see them. I can see that. And that's what Larry Miller does to his brother. He says, hey, you never lied to me before. If you said the government comes up and says it's the Bigfoot, I got to kill it. Now, I have issues because it's not the Bigfoot. If there is a Bigfoot, there's of course, it's a species if there is. But it's a movie, okay? Yeah. There was more than one Hitler, too, apparently. They were running around with the doubles and stuff.
Lots of them motherfuckers running around.
But I think a lot of problem, and I know Harley would be the same thing, the Bigfoot's weird.
It's awful. It's sick. Weird.
It's sick.
Yeah, it's sick.
Yeah. And even Elliot says that he's like not really living up to his name. When they show it and stuff. But in the battles that he has with that Bigfoot, just the fact he thinks he killed it a couple times. He doesn't want to kill it. He has to.
That's one of the most fascinating things about this whole movie for me is, first of all, how scuzzy the Bigfoot looked. I mean, of course, he was sick, like everybody's saying. Yeah. And then to learn that Bigfoot is such a treacherous bastard. Yeah. He's laying there. Sam Elliott is exhausted, worn out and everything, but he's just killed the Bigfoot, something he didn't want to do, but he had to do. And this diseased, dead creature's laying next to him, and it attacks him. I thought, boy, you treacherous bastard. That was, to me, was a very interesting point in this movie.
Right.
That and the Larry Miller character.
Yeah.
What the fuck was that? I mean, that he created it. I'm sure. I'll tell you right now. I've read a lot of scripts, and they give a brief character description of what the person looks like that's doing the talking. I guarantee you, there was nothing in that script that made Larry Miller such an interesting character. Mm-hmm. He brought that himself.
Right.
And even the makeup he wore, I thought, what is this? What's with the guy? Is he some kind of brain damaged creature that's walking around? What is he? Is he like a savant of some sort?
Yeah.
And I never did figure his character out, but thank you, Larry Miller, for doing that. And I've met Larry Miller a couple of times. He's a very interesting human being. So
I enjoyed this much more than I expected to. Let's put it to you that way.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on, Harley. We got the official film for this week. Okay. Yeah. From 1957. That's my wheelhouse. I love movies from the 50s. If it starts with a 5, we're good. We're pretty good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We have the film that's titled Night of the Demon or Curse of the Demon.
Yeah, it's whichever you prefer.
It really is whichever one you prefer. It's 2 separate titles. There was 2 different versions of this, an English and an American version. It is.
Which one did we watch?
We watched Night of the Demon, and we watched
Is that the American version?
We watched the British version of it, which is a little longer. Yeah. It's a little bit longer, so we got more in. Basically,
more
let me get
demon
more
for talking.
Your buck. That's right.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, this may surprise. I'm just bringing this up because I am looking right now at IMDb, which I do every now and then, of course. And I'm actually surprised that this has a higher rating than Death Trap.
Wow,
Death Trap
really?
is a 7. This is a 7.5.
That's
a little surprised. I like both movies,
me
but
too.
I just am a little surprised. Very cool. So let me get out Movie Guy and let's get a short storyline synopsis here for Curse of the Demon or Night of the Demon, whichever one you have a proclivity towards. All right, here we go, Movie Guy. Let's do this. American professor John Holden arrives in London for a parapsychology conference. only to find himself investigating the mysterious actions of devil worshipper Julian Carswell.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jerky McJerkington.
It's a Jerky McJerkington, you're right. This is based off of the story Casting the Runes. Now, after investigating a little bit, kind of found out that this
curating.
I was curating.
He's curating the hell out of this, boys and girls.
I'm gonna curate all over this movie.
Is that gonna make me taller?
I got ones of two big words, and I'm going to stick with them and climb them and stand on top of them.
You just use proclivity.
Yes, I did.
In a sentence.
Now, Danny, proclivity is in my nomenclature. Just let you know.
Listen to it, nomenclature.
Yes. So this is a movie where
pornogomophobic.
there's a warlock. Right?
Yes.
I used to call a warlock a fellow witch, a male witch. Yeah. I don't know if we're allowed to identify the differences between witches and warlocks anymore. Let's call him a warlock for fun. Let's be retro and call him a warlock. So he has this thing where it's kind of odd. There's people that are trying to debunk witchcraft, and he can't handle it. He don't like it. So every time somebody tries to debunk the witchcraft, he basically puts a curse on them. Okay. Now, when the movie starts, a person who has clearly been cursed meets his untimely end. Okay, and then we enter Dana Andrews.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yes, the star of our picture for today.
Dun, dun, dun.
So Dana Andrews is another skeptic. Shall we say? And so the movie is a bit of a mental cat and mouse between Dana Andrews and Niall McGinnis, who plays Carswell, trying to convince him, that there is a thing, there is such thing to witchcraft, and to prove it, he passes a parchment onto him, which has a curse.
Take that.
Yes, and the whole rub of the film is that if you take this parchment from someone, you are cursed, unless you can give it back to him.
Yeah.
If you give the parchment back, but of course, whoever gives you the parchment knows better.
And now I see. I got a little confused here. I mean, did you have to take the parchment, or could it simply be like stuck in your clothing and you don't even know it's there?
You had to accept it.
Yeah.
You had to accept it. Now they could fool you. They could hand you a briefcase with it in there.
It's in there.
Or a coat, like you said, an article of clothing. They could put it in your coat and hand you the coat. But it's almost like Dracula can't come into your house until you invite him.
Yeah.
So he can fool you and kind of be around your house.
I was a little confused because he showed the parchment. He talked about the parchment to that hospital patient. Mm-hmm. The guy had been in a coma for a gazillion years or 3 days or whatever it was. He gets up and runs down the hallway and jumps through a window to his death.
Okay,
because he mentioned the parchment, so I got the person.
Okay, so let's backtrack just a little bit here. So the parchment gets passed to Dana Andrews by Niall McGinnis. Okay, and in a slightly devious way. They're in a library.
Yes,
and Niall McGinnis goes oops and knocks a bunch of shit off the table that Dana Andrews is working on. He so kindly picks it up for him and clearly is sticking the parchment into the stuff and handing it to Dana Andrews, who Dana Andrews takes. So eventually Dana Andrews figures out, I got this parchment. Okay. But he doesn't believe it. He is a skeptic. So
even the thing keeps flipping away like a butterfly.
Yes, And it's just the draft going up the chimney, And so even though all the other shit's sitting there all stationary, that parchment just happens to be like aerodynamically sound to go right up the chimney. So
then if that's the case, they already told him he was going to die. And when? What time?
They did.
The day
before the parchment thing.
So he doesn't believe in his shit. He'll take it to give you the parchment. He's just like so. The thing is he is also doing some talks to some of his peers about this stuff. To Danny's point, when they bring in a guy who is like comatose and shocked, almost permanent shock, because he was a victim of this curse. However, they do say he survived it because he gave the parchment back, so he won the duel with the person who cursed him, but it turned his brain into mush. It scared him so bad. But now he was a basket case because the experience had driven him mad. Even though he got the part, but just to even know that was real drove him mad. So when Dana Andrews shows him the parchment, again,
did he actually show it to him or just start talking about it?
No, he showed it to him.
Okay.
Yeah. And then when he sees it, he goes, ah! Goes and jumps out a window.
Okay, now that
he was high strung.
Now that you've explained it to this little boy over here, then it makes more sense, and now I understand it. There's a lot about this movie that I kind of dozed off to, so please excuse me. I had a long day without a nap, and you know how cranky I am when I have too much awake time. So
right. So, but the movie is of definite cat and mouse, and what I like about it is that part. But I really like when someone's trying to convince someone, a skeptic, of something.
Yeah.
And the skeptic is the hero of the film, but he's also the boob of the film. Because he's basically the only guy that isn't buying this is happening, and everyone around him is falling apart. But he's sticking to his guns that, no, damn it, there ain't no such thing as Bigfoot. I don't care. Doesn't matter.
Even after you conjured up that big storm by tweaking your clown nose or something.
And Carswell is doing everything he can do, basically, to convince him. And in fairness, he does try to convince him before he gives him the parchment. No, actually, I'll take that back. He doesn't, because he meets him in the library. But here's the deal. This movie's been edited like 4 different ways.
Oh, God, yeah.
Okay, so you can watch one version of this movie, and it's the same movie, but edited in a different timeline, so that it's different. Even though the scenes are exactly the same, they're rearranged. So you get, and if you watch the movie close, there's little screw ups because of that. But you have to really be watching close because they're detaily things.
Is this the movie that we watched the making of type thing, and they were saying this is the 96-minute version? And this is the 82.
Yes.
Yeah. It was interesting. It was very fascinating.
Right. So they do. So me and Danny, again, yes, we were watching the extra features on the Blu-ray of this, and they do have side-by-side comparisons of the longer version and shorter version in the United States and not. Now, I thought that the United States producers had actually put the monster in the film. Apparently, that's not true. The producers of the film, the producers of the film, not the American distributors, the producers of the film stuck the monster in there. I didn't know that. I thought it was the Americans who did it. So to me, I think this movie needs to take the rubber-faced monster out. And I love monsters, Harley. You know this. I love it. I'm just talking about the inserts. The close-ups of his face when, whoa, whoa, whoa. That could be taken out. The long shots of the monster.
We're cool.
See, you guys are only getting half of this. You're just listening to him. I'm watching him while listening to him. He makes some really scary faces. So when you go, bleh, bleh, he's really frightening.
I'm doing the double jointed hand thing.
Yes.
Blah, blah.
And his tongue's sticking out.
Little. Yes. So, but
the close-up shots look like Odor Shirungus from Guar a little bit.
It does. And it's what's known of the movie. I'm looking at a poster right now, and it's that nostril flaring horn demon, and it looks cool
until you see it.
Until you see it moving around, and they're trying to. And in fairness, they were trying to make it the face animated. They were trying to make it breathing and stuff, but it just looks like when you got a Halloween mask on and you're trying to take in air and the whole thing gets sucked in. It's kind of what it looks like. What's funny though is that they opened the film with, and you think this is going to have a lot to do with Stonehenge. So basically it opens with Stonehenge because it's cool.
Yeah.
I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to take you back in time to where all these spells originated from. The old the druids. The druids, yes, and the people it's just showing the ancient art of the witchcraft that we're going to be experiencing throughout this movie. I've been babbling a little bit. Now I'm going to shoot over Harley.
Oh God, no!
Now the first question I want to ask you is that I could have sworn that we reviewed this movie before. Am I wrong?
I thought we had at one point. Yes.
Okay,
really
so this might be a revisit. Then.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. What'd you think this time?
Yeah. No, it's not a bad film. But I'm going way out on a limb already. Though the monsters sucked, we needed a little bit more of the monster or more of its presence, I guess. Like I liked how they would do the dissolve, like the old looks like smoke underwater thing where the effect, and it's cool.
Oh, the smoke that's chasing Danny Andrews around the movie. Yeah, that's actually done by either white paint or whole milk being dropped into
water, right, or something.
Yeah, being dropped into water, being dropped in like a fish tank, and then you film it from upside down. A lot of the Japanese films are done that way too.
Yeah, and it's a really cool effect.
Oh, it's awesome.
And I enjoyed that, but the monster, the close-ups were pretty bad. But I really thought the monster was going to be much more of an effective part of the film, but it just really wasn't, And but I will say, Jerky McJerkington, his character is pretty good.
Jerky?
Carswell?
Yeah. Carswell's a jerk, and I like that. And it's funny because it's like he plays it where, you want to believe that, no, he's not that creepy. But, oh, yeah, he is. And the whole scene when they're at the birthday party for the kids and he's dressed like a half version of Emmett Kelly or something, he
John Wayne Gacy,
a child abusing clown, you mean?
Yes. It just it's off-putting and I don't know, he's just smarmy enough to where you're like, this guy sucks, but he glosses over everything so much, Well,
he's an interesting mix of snidely whiplash and pathos. I mean, really is, because he's afraid of his power too.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when he conjures up that storm, he said, I guess it was a little bigger or something.
Yeah.
I thought it was
bigger. Right. Yeah. Concerned he can even control what he's
It's also the coolest part of the movie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Coming up with that
and his mom's a kind of a funny character in it, too.
Mom.
Yeah.
Love that.
And I was, you're nervous. I was a little nervous for her. I'm like, he's just going to take her out.
I thought the same thing. I thought he was going to sit her down in a chair and bitch slap her or something, which is not a nice way to treat your mom.
Right.
No, but Coswell was not a nice fella. So
he wasn't. That's true.
But my overall, I mean, I like Danny Andrews and he's good. I think.
Yeah, he
is to a point where you're, and even you're to the point where you're like, come on, buddy. Like, how many more excuses can you make for this stuff?
Yeah, the whole movie is hinging on him not believing.
Yes,
things and stuff. So it does take a little bit. You're like, I think I might start thinking. Now, this is a guy that's kind of has sympathy toward Bigfoot. So if I was him, I'd be like, well, maybe I do believe this now. Yeah,
we got a little storm there. There wasn't a cloud in the sky. This guy tells me he's going to do something. Something happened. I'm buying it.
Yeah.
I'm buying it, baby. I'm sold.
Yeah.
He's stubborn.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He's stubborn.
Stubborn as a mule. Danny Hicks, how about you? What's your initial thoughts here?
It was all right. I think this movie could have done without the monster altogether. And if it did have a monster, more believable monster. Because at the end, you got this 35, 40-foot tall, I don't know what it was, but he's holding the Coswell character in one hand and hitting him with the other. It looks like he's spanking him. He spanked him to death.
He's spanking the G.I. Joe guy.
Yeah.
He's
spanking the G.I. Joe guy. And this hand is like the size of a 1972 Volkswagen, and he's banging the shit out of this poor G.I. Joe guy. He smashes the hell out of his head. I think the monsters could have been better if they were in there at all. I think, with like the effect with the storm. That was cool.
Yeah.
It was very creepy. There's a lot of other things you could do that way without the monster.
Well, and I agree with you. And the director, Jacques Tourneur, who is one of my favorite, his posters are lining my walls. The leopard man, cat people. I mean, and he is I don't know if he learned from Val Lewton or him and Val Lewton got together, but he is one of the original. It's what you don't see that scares you.
Right.
He was very upset that there were monsters put. He had no idea there were monsters put in that movie. He did the smoke. His thing was the smoke and the storms and stuff that he did. His movie was about witchcraft. The movie that they wanted to put, the movie that the producers apparently wanted, was a monster movie.
Yeah.
Therefore, they decided to stick their puppet on a train track. You can even hear it. Did you notice that? You can even hear it going on the train track. It's like you can hear the wheels on the bottom of it. Could they have maybe edited that out? I mean, they had editing skills in the 50s. I know they did. It's like, take the fucking wheel sound out. That's what it sounds like anyway. And maybe they heard the wheels going, well, maybe if we leave it there, it'll just sound like it's the monster making noises. That's what it seemed like to me. Because when it's rolling, rolling down the train tracks. I'm like, it's on the tracks. Like, I know. No, I mean, it's on the rails. It's the wheels are on the rails. It's another train coming at them.
Well, there's something seriously going on with the editing in this thing, too, because at the end of the movie, that train's all over the place. It's moving, then it's not moving, and then the guy, the train is moving very fast. The guy climbs out, and it's stationary. And all this time, all this stuff's been going on. In fact, even the clock. He says, I got to be out there. He's got to catch the train at 8:45. So he runs over there, gets on the train, and it's 10 o'clock. So there's a big chunk of time missing. And after all this train movement, it ends up back at the station. So there's something seriously going
it seems like Jacques Tourneur handed someone a movie who was holding a big pair of scissors going, yeah. and they went to town on it, too, because, I mean, he doesn't make these mistakes. This guy doesn't. This guy, and that movie's there. The movie he shot is in there. Yeah, and you can see it. You know it doesn't need the monster inserts. You know it doesn't need it. You know it's there, and you can imagine he was horrified by. This is one of his later movies.
Yeah. Well, I got to say this second time, and the 2 weeks I've been with you guys, it's an editor's art. Mm-hmm. An editor. Yes. You could give the best performance of your life, and an editor could make you look horrible. Mm-hmm. I mean, absolutely trash you. So there's two people in my experience you never screw with. That's the tech guys because they can make you naked. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's the editor because they can make you look bad. Right. So it's an editor's art. Right. And they didn't do too well at the end of this. I don't know whose fault that was. The edits were good and seamless, so it's probably the producers. It said, we want this out and this in. And
the edits they asked for made things a little wonky. Or whatever. Yeah. I mean, that's always been the thing with this movie. My thing is I'm such a Jacques Tourneur fan that I see it. Yeah. I see what he wanted to do. I got it. Yeah. Like, if you watch it, it's right there. And from his point of view, Carswell's a monster. Yeah. And the witchcraft that he's summoning is the monster. And that's what makes the monster, where you're saying it needs more monster. Well, it has it throughout the movie. It's Carswell. But they kind of torpedo that and they ruin it a little bit to me by putting the monster in there.
Yeah. I think so too. I think they should have left the monster out. And if they're going to put a monster in, make it more believable. I mean, that was awful.
The other thing too is this has a real distinct, to me, film noir influence to it. Yeah. I mean, it does to me. Yeah. Tourneur didn't. I don't know how much he did. I know he did Out of the Past with Robert Mitchum, which is a huge film noir movie. But it's hard not to when you have guys that were trained on scaring people in shadows and fog. Yeah. That to me is one of the reasons I'm really drawn to this movie, though, too. Is that as much as they tried to fuck it up, they didn't ruin it. It didn't ruin it as much as they tried to fuck it up. Here's a little interesting tidbit for you guys. Because since we're talking about the monster and how bad it is, actually, Ray Harryhausen was contacted to do some work on this, but he was doing Seventh Voyage of Sinbad. Oh, wow. Yeah, so he didn't do it. And I'm glad, because I think Harryhausen probably would have done more and more to it, and then it would have become a Harryhausen movie. And Harryhausen, I don't know if that would have made things just too weird. Now, here's something for Ben Harley. Here's one of these really little esoteric little tidbits of information. So in Harley's movie, The Burbs, he loves the movie The Burbs. Love The Burbs. Mm-hmm. So Tom Hanks' neighbor, you know that guy Art, right? Yeah. So when he's trying to convince Tom Hanks that his neighbors are like devil worshippers, he shows him a movie in their basement he shows him a book in the basement when he's trying to convince him, these are devil worshippers, trust me, called The Theory of Practice of Demonology, written by Julian Carswell. Oh, no. In The Burbs, it's in there. So there's a little nod to this movie in The Burbs,
You're chanting, Ray. Satan is good. Satan is my friend. Yeah.
And the other little tidbit.
That's pretty cool.
This is one of Scorsese's favorite horror films.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he's a fan like we are. As much as he's made some important films and shit, he likes a popcorn munching movie. He loves them.
Why not?
I know, exactly. So, but my personal opinion of this movie, Curse of the Demon and Night of the Demon, and all the different, you can't fuck this up. And the Americans tried to fuck it up, and the British tried to fuck it up. But the source story, the source script, I should say, okay, to film was so strong, in my opinion. That they tried to hack it up and fuck it up, but what was there to begin with was so fucking strong they couldn't ruin it. I'm not saying they made it better. I'm saying they made it worse. But they couldn't ruin it totally. It's still a compelling film. It's still interesting. And the play between Dana Andrews and Niles McGinnis, I love watching it. And then the mom just on the outside.
That's very subtle.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Tim. They can fuck it up because I didn't care for this movie.
You liked it that night. You told me you did.
I did, but the more I think about it, no. I'm not saying I hate it, but I'm not going to say it's a great movie. I don't think it is because they fucked it up. The more I think about that monster spanking Coswell's character, I just think, man, what the fuck was that all about? So what it's done to me is it makes me go back and think more about the movie. And like when Dana Andrews is being chased through the woods by the gassy, cloudy thing and the sparkly stuff and the giant footprints.
Those are great.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah.
But it doesn't go anywhere. It just fades off into nothing. And as an actor, I'm thinking, what the fuck is that all about? You know, if you build up something like that, you can have a gradual letdown so that the audience isn't pissed at you for not doing something spectacular. But they didn't do that. They just had this great big giant build-up, complete with a huge footprints, and then just nothing. And it was very weird.
I wonder if there's an edit, and I didn't dig this far because it's like a 2-disc Blu-ray with like 9 different edits of a goddamn movie.
Yeah, oh jeez, yeah.
But I wonder if there's a Jacques Tourneur edit where they take out and they take back what he did.
Yeah,
and they take out the monster because here's the other clear thing: they're inserts. You look at the movie, it's like, inserts. And it throws you out of the movie. You're like, what the fuck, you know? And I can't even imagine that man. Seeing if he saw the premiere or whatever, like, I'm going to sit back and let everybody be frightened by my movie. What the hell is that? You know, looking at his ticket, what the fuck, man, where am I? And that would piss me off. That would greatly piss me off if it was my name was on it.
Yeah. You know? I can guarantee you that Dana Andrews was pissed at this movie. I can guarantee you that. Because of this special effects stuff. There had to be something more. I mean, he's running through the fucking woods for his life, you know, and doing a fine job of acting at the same time, and then it just goes away, and he just walks down the railroad tracks and no, that doesn't work.
And it is a different edit. I mean, the movie.
It's got to be. Yeah, there's got to be a scene where that's resolved somehow.
For me, the main story is just so fucking strong, and the performances are so strong. And I'm sorry, but I love Carswell. I love Niles McGinnis. He's one of my favorite villains. Yeah,
he's good in this.
Yeah. You don't know what he's doing. You don't know if he's a villain or he's not. You don't know. He could almost save the day at the end.
Yeah, he could.
And he's very scared at the end. He's not a Snidely Whiplash at the end. He's very human. He's very scared, and terrified. I love that.
Yeah,
I love
absolutely terrified.
I love that.
Yeah. And he could be terrified without that monster. I mean, they could find another way of destroying his character without the monster. Because I'm sure he wasn't there during the filming of that monster. That was all done later.
Right.
You know, so I'm sure they could have. Who knows? Maybe they did. You know?
Well, and I think I'm being maybe an apologist for the film because I know the monster wasn't supposed to be there.
Yeah.
So I can kind of watch it and take that out of it because I was so tense watching the actual interplay between the actors when I saw it, especially the first time.
Yeah.
I was like on the edge of my seat. I'm on the edge of my seat because my back hurts. I was on the edge of my seat watching this, and I was shocked I was. Because the old movies, not this time watching it, I know this movie really well. But it was older black and white movies that make me on the edge of my seat and make me feel very nervous. Really, it throws me off my game.
Sure.
Because I've watched so many movies, I don't suspend disbelief at all. And it tricks me. It tricks me to do that because I'm thinking, I know what's going to happen. Ooh, it didn't happen. And it seduces me in. Death Trap, which we reviewed last week, seduces you in by ruining your expectations of what's happening.
Oh, that one certainly got me.
Yes. And so when I saw this one the first time, I didn't expect anything but a Monolith Monsters movie. I did not expect a clever, well-written and produced film. I expected a B movie. Period. And that's it. And this movie was not. It was a British, well-produced film. The producers just wanted to make extra money, and they threw the monster in there.
I agree.
Yeah. So, Harley, you've been quiet. You're yawning and shit. You've been tired of hearing this. What do you think?
Well, I'm gonna have to just give it a mild Mild Grape Ape Up. Mm-hmm. I like the movie. I just it had to either have more monster or no monster. I think for me, and I do think Croswell was definitely spooky enough, especially him dressed as a clown, whatever. That he just creeped me out, because he wasn't trying to be menacing, but he was,
Yeah,
and. Man, so I think it's a fine movie. I just think it might have, I don't know, it was a little bit long. I wish they could have maybe summed it up a little bit quicker too.
You might have liked the American version. It's literally like 10 minutes difference, or 15 minutes difference. And I'm sure I've never heard them cutting anything out that was like really bothering people either. And when me and Danny saw the special features, they were just editing around. Which seemed like you already knew that stuff was understood.
Sure, yeah,
and things, So I can feel you on that. So Mild Grape Ape Up, you said?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Danny.
I'm going to go the same way with Ben. Mild Grape Ape Up. Is there such a thing as just a Grape Ape Up without them? No, that would be better.
Yeah, that would be better.
I'm with Ben.
A Mild Grape Ape Up is, it wasn't great, but I can't say it was bad because it was good. There was just mistakes in it and things
that's
take me out of it. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I'm going Grape Ape up to the rafters. I don't care what you guys say. Yep.
Yeah, that's boy.
I know a little something about movie history. I'm telling you, this is great. this is an important horror film. I mean, and whether or not people like it is sort of besides the point to me, in a way. But this is one of those movies that is a bit of a seminal film, I think, and I think it's one of the best witchcraft movies made. And when you start, what do you mean? Well, you name me better witchcraft movies because I don't. There's not a whole lot of them. Burn Witch Burn is great. I think that's a great movie. But man, you start going to like the 70s and seeing the satanic and witchcraft movies, and it starts getting a
lot of them too.
Little turtlenecky.
Yeah.
When you're getting to that era. And I think that this was creepy. It's creepy because you got a bunch of classy people being classy to each other. Yeah. And under the surface, they're pro wrestling. Pro wrestling.
Every time we saw the what was it, Carswell. Every time we saw him, I expected him to be covered in like some kind of oil because he was just an oily fucking creature.
Yeah.
And he did a great job. I mean, he was very good. Well,
he reminded me.
All the acting was good.
Yeah.
It's just the monster that they stuck in at the end of it and the editing kind of. It ruined the movie.
I can't argue with the monster being unnecessary. It's because if they wouldn't have showed any kind of monster, just the footprints and just the smoke was at least letting you know that something, at least in their mind, was happening real and scaring them enough. And I think that was Turner's point, was that is it scaring?
Yeah.
Or is it real? And if you watch the end of it closely, the monster coming towards you was silhouetted by a train.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you took all of the monster out, then Carswell could have been hit by a train.
Yeah, definitely.
And so that's why I'm saying that I'm kind of looking past it, understanding what they did. But I don't dismiss people saying, but it is there. So it bothers me, and I get it, and that's fine. I completely understand. I think that didn't shock me. What shocked me was how good the original intent of the movie was and how much it drew me into the story. I didn't expect all that. I expected it just to be like, what happened to that person over there? Let's find out, and just being your run-of-the-mill monster movie. And to understand that it not only was the monster edited in, there shouldn't have been a monster at all.
I agree.
Yeah.
It would have been so easy because the two guys that die, and the guy that jumps out the window, and he's just terrified of this slip of paper, and Carswell he could have just been terrified, jumped out of the train and ran down and got hit by the train coming the other way. That would have been perfect. Right.
And that's even there on film. Yeah. You just see it being superimposed and things happening. So, but anyway, I'm giving it just a giant Grape Ape Up because I do love the movie, and I do forgive the monster in a way because I'm forgiving Jacques, and I do have a soft spot for himself because he's made some of my favorite movies. I feel bad for him in this movie. It's almost like you don't hire Danny Hicks to be an NBA player in your movie. Okay? You don't hire Jacques.
She got one hell of a sense of humor.
Well, they did do it for Will Ferrell, so you never know. Well, but at least he's tall. But You don't hire Jacques Tourneur to make a overt monster movie. You just don't do it. And I think that that's the problem. And I'm giving a vote of confidence to Jacques that I can see the movie he made. It's there. Although that spanking the baby thing is funny as fuck, man.
It is.
It's funny as shit.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys are giving it just a mild Great Big Pup, the monster body. You guys get it? And I'm giving it a Great Big Pup because I'm super smart and I can see past all that stuff.
Of course
so we're going to do that. So. All right, well, this is sadly the end of Hicks season. That's it. Another Hicks season in the books, Mr. Ben Harley.
In the books. Makes me sad, though.
Yeah, well, that's the shit that happens there, babies. That you come and then you got to go.
Well, you got to make me a promise, Mr. Ben Harley. It's going to be a rough one on you. It's going to be a rough one. Next Hicks season, you got to make a personal appearance.
Oh, I will.
Have 3 microphones in the room, a round table.
Right after the fragile porcelain ice play.
That's right.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. No, I definitely want to do that.
Yeah.
I'm going to make sure no knee problems or nothing.
That's right.
Good luck with that. Good luck with that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Buddy.
Good luck with that, and make sure you heal up good so you can keep pulling them squeegees and doing your pro. You're going to have a hard time. The potentate of hate does not have a limp.
No,
we can't be doing that.
No, he moves too quick.
Does he have a cane?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I do.
You got your
big old
staff.
staff.
So, all right. Well, thank you, Danny Hicks, once again for this wonderful Hicks season.
It's my privilege, my honor. I love you guys, and it's been great.
Love you too, Danny.
Shooting the breeze with you, just shooting the breeze, children.
It has been fun. Once again, we've enjoyed it. So, until next Hicks season, Danny, thank you very much. And for the rest of you deep thinkers out there, until next week, stay spooky, and we'll talk to you then.
Keep it creepy, people.
Goodbye, everybody.
You've been listening to the Timo and Harley Show, brought to you by ScreenPrintingFactory.com, your affordable one-stop solution to all your screen printing needs.